Hi, Mr. Wagner here for 7th grade social studies for Wednesday the 18th. And I know that some students were making up the ed puzzle, so they missed the first block. So I figured I'd just get you caught up. I talked about how some of you didn't hand in the quiz yesterday. So some of you, I don't know if you forgot or what, but you got to finish that. And then you also need to do the interactive worksheet. I want to show you where that is. If you scroll down, Friday the 13th. There was two things you had to do. You had to do, I'm trying here. Well, is it not going to let me? View assignment. That's the easy way. Instructions. So two things you had to do. One, you had to fill in the blank notes. You could just read them and copy and paste them, or you could watch the videos that talk about it. Then the other thing is the interactive worksheet. Lots of students didn't do this. And it's a wiser worksheet. It's real quick, and you got to complete that. Later on, we started talking about today. Today's goal is you had an ed puzzle yesterday, right? Ed puzzle. So if you didn't finish that, students are working on that. And that's why they would be watching this video, because they were watching this video. They missed class possibly because they were finishing the ed puzzle, which is a quiz grade. That's fine. It is what it is. I'm here to be flexible. I know life is crazy right now. Crazy. So today there's a lot going on. And if you scroll down, there's all kinds of things down here. And the thing we're doing is the copy of the Indus Valley and Hindu notes. And we did, during my live stream, I went over the first ones. For each statement, indicate if it's true or false. The Indus Valley civilization dates back to the 1920s. False. That's when it was discovered, but it was actually dating back 3,500 years. Nobody knows for sure what caused the end of the Indus Valley culture. True. The Aryan civilization established a system of castes that still affects people in South Asia. True. The Aryan people wrote and spoke Hindi. False. They wrote and spoke Sanskrit, which is the parent or grandparent of Hindi. When we looked at a little picture of the Mohenjo-Daro ruins, it looks a little bit like this. And that is not a pyramid in the background. They didn't have pyramids or monuments that much. So the idea was Mohenjo-Daro was very sophisticated because they planned cities on a grid with sturdy brick structures and had plumbing in each home with drainage. So they didn't have like a toilet. They had like, a way for you to have like a potty area, and then it would drain out. And running water separate, not hooked up to the potty area, that could be dangerous. That also drained through. Pretty complicated stuff, whereas quoting Mr. Ukraine, according to even in Europe in the 200 years ago, they might not have had this type of running water. Then we started these fill-in-the-blank notes today on 11/18. They're down here, and they go off of this slideshow. So we only got through the certain slides. I wanted to show you. Ancient India, Hinduism. Da-da-da-da. So it's the first major religion, and they believe in your duty. Everybody has a duty. Everybody has a role. Know your role, jabroni, is what The Rock said. Mr. Perfect. The $1 Million Man said everybody has a price to pay. Well, you have to do your job, and your job is following the laws. You have certain obligations based on what your caste is in society. There's 4 levels. And then you also have a duty in your family and a duty to help make the society the best place possible. Right? They had a sacred holy text like the Bible, Quran, Torah. This was the Ramayana, and it offers models on how to behave. And the main character that helps to teach the lesson in that book is Rama, and he has to follow his dharma. And I can't move this. Why can't I move this? Next slide. Hinduism. Other basic Hindu beliefs. They have 4 main things that we will talk about in the slideshow. Brahman, deities, or means gods and goddesses. Karma means whatever you do has a consequence that makes good or bad things happen to you. And then samsara. So it's a very old religion before recorded history, and you can't trace one person that founded Hinduism. If you looked it up, you'd probably find 3 to 5 different answers for that. Caste systems were an issue. We watched a video about this. Coffee break. Boba Fett. Okay. The 4 castes looks like there's 5. There's not really 5. There's 4, and then there's the outsiders. Brahmins are like priests, religious scholars, and whoever's their kids are, they will do the same job, etc. Kshatriyas are the second level. There's like the government and the army. If you're in that, your kids will become that. Vaishyas are herders and merchants, so farmers and herders, merchants that sell stuff to other places to help the country grow wealthy. Middle class, if you will, but middle caste or third caste. And then people who work like jobs that don't pay much or servants or whatnot are Shudras, and they're the fourth one. The fifth one is untouchables, which are so like you're born into whatever one. So if you're born into an untouchable family, you are an untouchable, and you can only be an untouchable no matter how much education or schooling or whatever luck you run into. And you have to do your duties. So a warrior has a duty to become skilled with weapons. And even if you're an amazing herder, you can't do that because you have to become a warrior. And untouchables, fifth one, are separate. So they do jobs dealing with like dirty stuff or backbreaking, hands are hurting type of work, or they deal with cremations and funerals and just all the stuff that's most people want to like, oh, somebody else do that. So they have the gods, the 4 levels, and then below this on my screen, you can't really see it, but the below this is the untouchables down here by themselves. Lastly, today we got to the 5th caste system, the untouchables. We talked about them being considered dirty by other people. They might be the garbage man, physically dirty, or just dirty. You walking down the street, you'd actually walk to the other side of the street to be away from them if you saw them. They are avoided. If you're born into it, you can't change it. You can only marry people in your caste. Reincarnation is something we're going to talk about. And then the last slide we got to, for most classes, was Brahman. Let me move me over here. Brahman is kind of like the Force in Star Wars, the supreme power, divine force that's greater than all other deities. It exists forever. It's in everything. Everything flows, right? Hinduism sees this time as like a wheel, because that's why there's the reincarnation. So Brahman is constantly creating and destroying, creating new things. And everything's part of that. You're connected to Brahman, but only if you make it all the way through all reincarnations can you become one and part of the Brahman. That's the goal. That's as far as we got in most of my classes. But period 4-6, we might get to the deities. The deities, there are many that's polytheistic, and they were all different parts of the Brahman, right? Indra was the thunder god. Brahma creates the universe. Vishnu just preserves it, keeps things going. Shiva is the destroyer. I think we saw that in one of the videos that showed near the place where they always have the funeral pyres and people burning that are dead in different places. And Devi is like girl power, if you will, female powers of the universe. Deities, to end it, sacred texts, Ramayana is one of the most famous stories. This text is inspired many Hindu holidays and festivals. True that. We just had Diwali. They were setting off some fireworks in the front yard on last Saturday. And the last one, I think we'll get to this in period 4-6, so I'm going to talk about it, is Dharma. Law, obligation, and duty was already said, and in the social classes, the Vedas are the social classes. Each social class has like what's good behavior for that. So like a government person, how do you be a good governor? How do you be a good merchant? The way of one's kind is considered the Varna Dharma. So I'm supposed to try to sell stuff, make lots of money, and then put that money back into the economy and help everybody in other businesses. I'm supposed to not steal, cheat, or lie if I'm a merchant. I'm supposed to help the government when asked to, and I'm supposed to not to go around the government to make money. And then that keeps everybody in harmony. If everybody does their part, I see a good helper, then everything, the whole place will exist better, right? Coffee break. I'm in the zone. I'm just going to keep going. Every level in Hinduism believes in nonviolence. all life forms have a soul, and respect, and don't step on a bug just because. Don't kill things. The cow is like a holy animal. They're like, on the videos we watch in class, they're just like walking around. People are like, oh, excuse me, sorry, cow, after you. And they just walk around. They provide milk and butter, so you're allowed to have milk and butter? Question mark. After death, you can't really hurt them, but if they die, then you can use their skin, and then you can't kill them. So there's no red meat. Sorry. I really doubt we'll get this far as karma today. Karma, people say karma's a you are supposed to live according to your dharma, your job, your roles, your responsibilities. That's following your dharma. Your dharma is your responsibility. If you're in caste number 2, the caste number 2 responsibilities are yada yada yada. You're taught them when you're little. You grow up and you follow them. If you do not, karma will help or hurt your soul. You are to be reincarnated when you die. So souls have many lives, but you don't know what you were before. So, if you're like at the top and you have one more level to go, you're not like reminded, oh, you got good all the way up and you have one more thing to do. That could make you want to try harder. You don't know that according to what they believe. They believe like you just have to try to still have that pitch the perfect game to get out of the top level and into the Brahman, the soul, the force, right? When you die, their soul is reborn and a new body is what they believe in. And then your karma. If your karma is good, you move up. If your karma is bad, you move down. If you lived well, you're born into a higher social class. If you were bad, they're born into the lower social class. And you can even be reborn into animals. I guess I don't know how that works. I need like a visual. Like, can you like go side and then come back in, or do you like go all the way and then you're the lowest human and then you become an animal? Good question. I will have to look that up for you. Right, that's going to end the video for today because I don't think we'll possibly get any further than that. Bye, Max. All right, how does one end a video? Do this. Exit the slideshow. I go up here. That doesn't know what they're doing. Close that, and I